You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. Every champion was once a contender that refused to give up. Going that one more round when you don't think you can, that's what makes all the difference in your life. I'm not the richest, smartest, or most talented person in the world, but I succeed because I keep going and going and going. When you're scared, when you're hanging on, when life is hurting you, then you're going to see what you're really made of. Every time I've failed, people had me out for the count, but I always come back. I believe any success in life is made by going into an area with a blind and furious optimism. I take rejection as someone blowing a bugle in my ear to wake me up and get going, rather than retreat. Success is usually the culmination of controlling failures. The world meets nobody halfway. When you want something, you got to take it. There's a natural law of karma that vindictive people who go out of their way to hurt others will end up broke and alone. Now, if you know what you're worth, then go out and get what you're worth. Don't discuss your dreams, pursue them. Dreams cost nothing. They are free. The hard part is just keeping them going. Plan B. You've always got to have a plan B. When I was in junior high school, the teacher voted me the student most likely to end up in the electric chair. Nothing is real if you don't believe in who you are. The older I get, the more things I gotta leave behind. I'd rather do something I love badly than to feel bad about not doing something I love. I think there comes a time when you realize that you need God in your life, God's word, and the spiritual guidance that only He can give. Don't be gullible. Use life before it uses you. Understand there are no free lunches, and for every action you take, there's a reaction. You have to grab life by the throat and squeeze before it grabs you by your neck and breaks it. Own your destiny. Love is absolute loyalty. People fade, looks fade, but the loyalty never fades. When you're pushed, killing is as easy as breathing. When life hits you pretty hard, you can go into a dark corner. Life is more than sunglasses and hit movies. Reality, that's the main event. I'm not right wing, I'm not left wing. I love my country. The character of Rocky was built on the idea that he was chosen to do something. That's why the first image in Rocky is the picture of Christ. If you think people are inherently good, you get rid of the police for 24 hours. See what happens. Study people's success stories hard. Study their failures even harder. When boxers are in the ring, they're simple. It's when the fight is over, that's when the other fight, the real fight, begins. That's the problem. Once in one's life, for one mortal moment, one must make a grab for immortality. If not, one has not lived. Every morning I crawl out of bed. I sit there and think, do I really need this? And I drag myself to the gym in my garage. It's not fun, I hate it, I work out alone, weights. You're a disease, and I'm the cure. Through failure, I found different ways to reverse my problems and get into the mainstream of Hollywood. I'm usually taken for a non-intellectual, a person of limited intelligence. I don't know why, but I figure it's because physically I don't look intelligent. In the movies, I kill guys with an axe. In real life, I can't control a 9-year-old girl. When crossing someone's borders, you have to be prepared to engage in a war that is far more brutal than if it were to take place on neutral territory. Movies are the work of a collective conscience. It takes 500, 800 people on a movie to complete a vision. I feel that America's like a child that grew up so strong and so fast and so tall that it became self-conscious about its size and started to stoop over so as not to offend anyone. I thought marriage was tough. Golf's like going over Niagara Falls in a barrel. It's a psychological game that gets into your blood. I have great expectations for the future because the past was highly overrated. Back there I could fly a gunship, I could drive a tank, I was in charge of million-dollar equipment. Back here I can't even hold a job parking cars. If bad decorating was a hanging offense, there'd be bodies hanging from every tree. To me, the most perfect screenplay ever written will be one word, when you finally reduce it down to that. Until then, writing will be an imperfect form of communication. You can actually alter a person's perception when they're that young. I mean, it can affect them in a very positive way. Training and working in Philadelphia is a very unusual situation because that city does believe that Rocky is real. No one calls me Sylvester, it's Rocky. I have all kinds of chest injuries. I tore my vein during Rocky II and had 60 stitches. If you've seen Rocky Balboa, you'll know how bad they look. I'm always looking for a new challenge. There are a lot of mountains to climb out there. When I run out of mountains, I'll build a new one. When you are young, you often think that the world spins around you. You think you can do anything, can take the world on your shoulders. When I was a kid, my mother used to feed me mashed potato sandwiches, Brussels sprout sandwiches. My brain cells were starving from lack of food. I'll eat anything, I'll eat dirt. The trouble with remakes is that people fall in love with the original. It's like peanut butter. If you try to change the taste of peanut butter, you're in trouble. I was an ambitious child, and I tended to be scatterbrained. If I was at school and saw a bird outside the window, I wanted to follow it. I was adventurous. I abused my body so much throughout my career that I'm literally held together by glue. The stuff I took thickens the bones and reinforces the tendons. The men in Vietnam weren't allowed to fight the war with any kind of concern to win by the government. It was like a war of attrition. Rocky would definitely run for councilman, maybe mayor, but these people are actually most effective in the family unit. That's where they shine. You know you've been around when they start to remake your own movies when you're still alive. For Rocky II, I got a torn pectoral muscle. I got all beat up inside. I had to have an operation to splice things back together. There aren't a lot of opportunities for that rite of passage that makes you a man. War is one of them, and violent sports are another. If you don't have a mountain, build one and then climb it. And after you climb it, build another one. Otherwise, you start to flatline in your life.